In 2014, the leadership wanted to reward students who met specific requirements without punishing others. The requirements for this reward was they had to be a senior with good grades, good attendance, and referral free for 1 month. So what was the reward? Outside lunch seating. Our principal got with our admin team and came up with a plan. Let's recap. Student morale was down. They wanted to reward seniors, use free material from wood pallet deliveries, and have shop classes build them, which was free labor. Have teachers monitor outside and inside lunch seating. They already had them, so why couldn't they do both? Why did it fail? A lot of reasons. It wasn't planned out. Teachers felt burnt out watching students in multiple areas. Students who didn't fit the criteria started using the tables. Students who were supposed to earn the award felt discouraged, and students became territorial over the tables and began fighting. The fighting and gathering at the tables began to disrupt classes. Yeah, fights happened over picnic tables. Fist fights. Over tables. So let's look at the 4 frames. Failure in the political frame. Unfortunately, admin did not consider the roles of teachers monitoring outside lunch, seating, and the cafeteria. Teachers felt overwhelmed and underappreciated. Students felt unappreciated. When fights during classes broke out at the table, students and teachers felt like their needs were not being met, and they were quickly becoming scapegoats, so admin did not have to take the blame for this failure. Failure in the human resource frame. Students felt like they earned this reward and weren't getting to use it. Students who didn't earn it felt like they were being treated unfairly, and underclassmen wanted to have the right to earn that opportunity, and they weren't seniors, so they couldn't sit at the tables. No one felt heard. As fights broke out, restrictions on the tables began. Students who were not involved in the fights felt punished for something they didn't participate in. Teachers and staff, their duty doubled. If they had lunch duty, they had to watch more areas. Sometimes it tripled. If a fight broke out in one of their areas and they weren't there because they were looking at a different area, they were blamed. They dreaded their duty more than ever. They felt more stress. They felt like they had less time and definitely less energy to connect and engage with students. In the structural frame, there was no planning. I mean, okay, a little bit, but not a lot. Let's break it down. September, admin needs to raise student morale. They approach shop teachers. The metals and wood students make the tables. In October, the tables are finished. 2 days later, 2 days, the tables are put outside. Admin tells the teachers and staff with lunch duty they need to monitor the tables. Kids begin fighting. Kids begin skipping and hanging out at these tables. Security is overwhelmed. There was little planning. Failure in the symbolic frame. No one's taking pride in their role. Students aren't taking pride in the fact that they can earn the right to sit at these tables. They're just doing it. Kids who have the right to sit at these tables aren't able to be there. Teachers aren't taking pride in their role of watching students and observing students in their duty. They're stretched too thin. Admin wasn't taking pride in the idea. They were finding ways to blame others. So is this classical or neoclassical failure? Both. Our admin team reflected both classical and neoclassical leaders at the time. And they showed failure in kind of the same way. Admin wasn't looking out for the greater good of the group, and they were doing what they saw best fit, and they expected everyone to just go along with it, which wasn't fair or acceptable to anyone involved. So how can we reframe this? Step 1, plan better. Literally, plan better. Come up with a better plan. With the leadership team, plan on how to keep track of students who earn the reward, and then figure out how are you going to monitor. You can't have one teacher monitor multiple areas. It's not fair. Fights happen, and you lose control. And of course, teachers and staff, if you have been watching less areas, are going to feel less overwhelmed and less unappreciated. You also have teachers and staff who thrive on organization and systems. Get them to help you. After you come up with a real plan, a solid plan, start answering these questions. Once these questions are answered, then you can start implementing your plan, but not until everything is answered. Step 2, everyone's human. People make mistakes. Things we